In this week's Ask Me Anything, I'm going to be covering a question to help you determine if your client has a neck or shoulder problem. What's up, everybody? Dr. Matt Maggio here, creator of the Peak Method, founder, Soft Tissue Revolution, where we show massage therapists how to easily make well over $100,000 a year, all by working less than 20 hours per week, by learning to work smarter, not harder. So I get questions all the time, from all the socials, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you're consuming this content. And I try my best to answer everyone the best that I can. And I decided that I'm really getting tired of typing because I can't get everything out. So I started to do this new series called Ask Me Anything, where people send me questions in all the time. And this is my very first episode. So in this week's episode, I got a question about, hey, my client keeps coming in with a shoulder problem or neck problem. I'm treating it, but I'm not really sure if I'm making any results. They feel better for a few days after, but they come back and it's right back to where it is. So how do you tell if it's a shoulder or a neck problem? So that's what I'm going to answer today. So one of the biggest things that's lacking in the world of conservative musculoskeletal care. Now, when I say conservative musculoskeletal care, I mean massage therapists, physical therapists, and chiropractors, is the lack of critical thinking. Being able to actually figure out what the problem is. What happens with all the practitioners, be it everyone I just listed, is they just want to jump in right for treatment. And basically what they do is they diagnose or evaluate based off what they're trained in instead of what the client actually needs, and then they're not solving problems. So I go through a very thorough and in-depth history in my system called the Peak Method. And basically what we do is we ask a bunch of questions, and I've done webinars on that as well, and I'll actually include them down in the description notes below, so you can go back and watch that webinar about the 12 questions you must ask your client about what's going on so you can figure out that injury. Now, one of the most important questions that I ask is symptom location, like where do you feel the pain? And a lot of times people come in, especially clients, and they go, oh, I have a shoulder problem. And they start to point in here and deep inside the neck. They're like, I got a shoulder problem. And what I always correct is I'm like, no, that's not a shoulder problem. So being able to figure out what's coming from the shoulder and what's coming from the neck is really important for you as the practitioner, because if you don't know what a problem is in the first place, you can never fix it. So this is a really good strategy for you to have. So anytime somebody comes in here and they say, my shoulder hurts, that is a neck problem. It is a neck problem 100% of the time. I guess I'll say 99.9% of the time just to cover myself. But basically what that is a neck problem. Now, true shoulder problems, they tend to be out here in the lateral part of the shoulder, back behind here in the joint, or in the front part of the joint. So the key is really asking the right questions, like where do you feel the pain? Like if somebody comes in and they just say, yeah, my shoulder hurts, you really got to break it down for them, because people don't really understand the body. They came to you for the tools that you have to solve and fix the problem. So you have to ask the right questions, like where does it hurt? What does that pain feel like? How severe is that pain? Because you need to get to the root cause of what's going on. And so many people shy away from that. Don't let the client just tell you like, oh, my shoulder hurts. Be like, I always slow down. I'm like, does it hurt out here or does it hurt back through here? Now, some of the other questions that I ask is like, what does that pain feel like? Is it sharp? Is it stabbing? Is it numb? Is it burning? Is it aching? Is it tingling? It really helps me determine, am I having a neck problem or a shoulder problem? And then another question I always ask is severity. I always go, hey, on a scale of 0 to 10, 0, no pain, 10, you wouldn't care if I just cut that area off. What is the worst that pain's ever gotten? And a lot of times when it's more of a neck component, a lot of times there's some damage to the disc and the joint in the neck. They might be a 7, an 8, or 9 out of 10, or it might just always be there as well. Where a shoulder problem tends to be more like popping, clicking. They might get some sharpness when they go to reach for something, but it's not like constant. A lot of times it's just worse with use. And a lot of times this problem back through here is just from shitty posture, being on your phones all the time, sitting all day long. So the take home here is really slowing down and asking the right questions. As I said, so many people they just want to get their hands on the client, and then they don't know what's really going on, and then they're just doing a bunch of treatment. And doing treatment without knowing what the problem is, you're just continuing to spin your wheels in the mud, and you're not getting true results. So make sure you ask the right questions. You know where you're going. Start thinking critically, and don't be so quick to jump into treatment, because you want to do the right treatment, the effective treatment, not just a bunch of treatment and see what happens. So if you like the video, give it a comment, a like, a share. If you got any muscles or questions or just any topic you want me to cover, send me a message and we'll get it on for the AMA. And lastly, grab my free training. It'll be listed down below in the description. We'll go into a lot of detail about my system, what sets it apart, and get you on the path to working smarter, not harder, so you can get the life and practice and business that you deserve. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.